Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
So if you know, when you start your garden with the newspaper and the organic soil, and then
You don't even need organic soil. Just use wood chips. What's organic soil?
so you don't need any.
If you notice in nature, no soil is being imported.
So you're just doing wood chips.
Are you hearing me? In nature, no soil is being imported. Have you ever looked at these organic piles of topsoil? Everybody track me. This is so huge, and it just shows Joe how we don't get it. Joe's been around long enough. You've seen houses that are built, new houses. His son's a builder. As soon as they get to build a house, they bring a cat and they scrape all the topsoil off and they make a pile of it. What happens immediately to that pile of topsoil?
Weeds.
It turns green overnight with weeds. You go to these places that are selling this organic topsoil, beautiful piles of black organic topsoil, and nothing's growing in it. Nothing. Not one weed. The whole year. With the rain and everything. That should tell you something. That's not soil. That stuff they just pulled off the ground when they built the house, that was topsoil, and it's viable, and stuff grows in it. That stuff they're telling you is topsoil, it's not viable. Nothing's growing in it. And when you bring it home and put it in your garden, nothing's going to grow in it. Wake up.
So when the wood chip starts to decompose and break down, then that's when you put your chicken.
No, this is all wood chips here. My orchard's all wood chips, but my garden is all this because the Creator brought to my attention that I'm not walking well, and I may not be able forever to haul wood chips into my yard. But He wanted me to know that I had everything here via my chickens, local, so I wouldn't have to import anything. So this has really worked, but what I'm finding about my orchard and wood chips is last year we had a significant drought. We're talking major drought here. It was really dry. I had to water my garden a lot, but I watered nothing in my orchard. And I had squash and beets and stuff growing all summer long in my orchard with no water. And I'm seeing this material holds water like nothing on the planet. And let me explain to you why. Again, if you just track, you look at, see these fir trees here? You see how green and bright green those tips are on those needles? Are you following me? See the tips, how bright green they are? How is the water from the ground getting out to those tips? Think about it. From the ground, how's the water getting all the way out to those tips? It's taken up through roots, and it goes through a wood structure against gravity. Are you following me? It's going against gravity, and it's moving through wood structure all the way out to those tips. It's all wood. And I'm seeing that wood is the most amazing medium for transporting and releasing water. And wood chips laying on the ground, they operate in the same way. It's the same wood. It's incredible. And again, when you start observing, you start paying attention to nature, all this amazing stuff starts opening up to you, and you realize, like, wow, God. Can I tell you something awesome about wood? Ever been in a house with a wood stove? You know right now how you're feeling the heat from the sun goes right through your tissue to your bone, it goes right into you? Wood heat does the same thing. And nothing else does. Electric doesn't, heat pumps don't, propane doesn't. Only the sun and wood heat at that level. So I asked the Creator why, and He told me. The trees are taking in photosynthesis from the sun, and they're storing it in their cells, and when it's burned, they're giving it back. It's the same heat.
Like a battery.
And I think, how awesome, what a Creator, how He designed this. The trees take in the heat from the sun, photosynthesis, store it in their cells, when you burn it, it returns it. It's the same heat. And it's renewable. Everything else we're using is not. Again, when you look at this design in nature, it's genius. It's like incredible. I love it.
So would you say when you're starting an orchard to start off with the wood chips, like you said?
Just over the ground, put wood chips down.
And then for the actual growing of lettuce and all those different
Pull
things?
the wood chips back, you'll see the soil below is getting soft and damp. Plant in that very shallow as they come up and move the wood chips around your plants, you're good.
Okay.
I have a lady in the back here whose dog comes out every evening and lays right there in my herb garden and eats my soil every night. Its face looks like it's eating chocolate. It's all black, but it does it every day, and it's indicating to me it's mineral deficient.
Yeah.
And it knows. It's so awesome to watch it. I'm not telling it to. It's no one's instructing it, but it's drawn to this life force, and it every evening sits here and eats my soil because of the life in it. And again, you look at these plants, you look at the color, you look at the vigor. They're telling you, man, there's life here. This is not something I'm spraying or putting on or applying. This is the life force in the wood chips. You know, it's not something that I'm trying to sell or twist your arm or, you know, convince you. It's evident. That's why I bring you here. I want you to see. This is not subtle. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
And like I showed you, it all grows. Lavender next to blueberries. Sage next to, you know, wasabi. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's just no issues. Nothing you can't do. And you can see how this could impact the whole world of people who are struggling and starving and not making it. This is so easy, so simple. Anybody could do it.
We need more model gardens all over the world.
That's
show people,
what's
educate
happening.
people.
I tell you, if you guys go to the website and look up, you type in Bonton Farm Works in Dallas, Texas. That's a huge city. Dallas, Texas is a major city.
Yeah.
So these people there that are trying to take care of the homeless and the drug addicts and stuff, they're trying to feed them and they're having a hard time. They thought, we've got to start growing food, but what do you do now in Dallas? And when they saw my film, they realized, like, we could do this. And so they went to the Habitat for Humanity and they gave them 10 city lots.
Wow.
10 lots in the center of Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
And they have, on this website, they got these pictures of these homeless people moving wheelbarrows of wood chips, planting, growing all this food, getting well. They got chickens, they got goats, and they're transforming this whole place in the center of Dallas, growing all this food. I just love it, man, because it's changed people's lives.
Yeah.
And it's effective, it works. And it's so good for them to, these poor people, they're sitting in these bars, they're outside moving wheelbarrows, they're getting exercise, they're getting life, they're getting vitamin D. It's so healthy, it's so, you know, beneficial.
Yeah.
And it's just phenomenal. We were created to do this. God put us in the garden up front for a reason. We're supposed to be in the garden. It's just like, duh.
Hey, what was it called again?
It's Bonton Farm Works
Boston Farm Works.
in Dallas, Texas. It's awesome.
Wow.
And there's stuff like that happening. I get calls every day from all over the world. All kinds of people just really transforming communities by doing this because it works.
Yeah.
You know, this church was doing a whole bunch of this, had these big gardens, and the Catholic Church saw what they're doing, so they started bringing wood chips. And they got, so when something works and it's beneficial,
People see it.
yeah, you gotta do it, man. Why not? It's free. You know?
Yeah.
So is it better to put fresh wood chips down or have them break down in a pile and then put them down?
Have you noticed the Creator? Every fall he puts fresh wood
Fresh.
chips over
That's
the whole
what I was
planet.
thinking. Okay.
Again, I
So
encourage you to
break it
observe
down,
nature.
so-
And just all these questions just get lost. And it's so simple. It's like here we make things so hard. Eat that. Those are chives,
Oh my God.
onion chives, and just want you to see how good that is. Where's Joe? Go check out those chives. Those are good.
You're talking into it.
They said a different question.
Isn't that good? Sweet, huh? Yes.
But what about, I mean, I know you probably don't have it here, blight on
All
tomato
disease,
plants.
track with me. All disease
Yeah.
is a result of malnutrition. Period. Because when something has adequate nutrition, it knows how to overcome disease, whether it's a plant, animal, insect, or human being. And I had people with blight in their tomatoes put the wood chips down, and everything totally changed. Completely over.
Even in hot, humid Florida.
Again, in nature in Florida, there's no blight. If you go out in nature, there's no blight happening. It only happens in sterile, cultivated, mineral deficient soil. Again, things are so simple, and we've made it so hard. What about this? It's all the same. It's not well. It's not well. And when it gets well, there are issues. Can't help it. Again, it's so simple. And so instead of, here's the problem about allopathic medicine. It has nothing to do with healing. It's all about maintaining and supporting disease. Because when you're not well, you don't treat the disease. You treat the condition of the lacking. So I'm not drug deficient. I'm malnutrition if I get sick. And so if I get proper nutrition, the illness leaves me because my body was fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God and it knows how to heal. It just has to be supported. And so I'm not going to go be trying to run after disease. I want to get my body well because it's very powerful to deal with it. And it's way better than your stupid drug. Again, I love simple. Simple is just so easy, so fun. And it's just, you don't rack your brain and struggle. It's just like, duh. Just make it well.
I made a tomato bed after watching your movie, and they did amazing, the producing and everything, but as soon as the soil became nice and fluffy because it was staying hydrated, all the gophers from around the area wanted to move into the bed. And it was like a magnet for them. They loved digging around
easy
in the
digging.
soil.
Yeah, it's not hard.
And the problem is they put the soil over the, I had pretty bulky wood chips. So it was putting the soil over the wood chips, and it was driving me nuts. I didn't...
Well, you need it. Gophers are not friendly. They'll eat your roots and kill your plants.
Right, how
And
could
so
I
you trap them. The McCabe,
take them somewhere far?
No, the McCabe trap. You set a trap in the hole and you catch them and kill them.
Okay,
They're not beneficial.
yeah.
Buy your husband a good slingshot.
And when they come into my yard,
Bad.
they
I'm
come into my
vegetarian.
yard, they're trespassers.
They didn't feel bad about you.
Yeah.
If they come to my yard, they're trespassers and they will not survive.
So if you trap one and kill it, will they tell the other gopher friends to go away?
Probably not.
Hang them up so they
okay.
can see it.
Yeah.
No, but I have moles. We don't have gophers, but my cat gets a lot of them. But I have a mole trap, and my cat I'm on them because I'm just not into them destroying my yard.
Yeah.
This is my home. I'm the steward of it, and you're trespassing, and you're not welcome here. If you don't leave on your own, I'll take you out.
I have one more question about your chickens. Okay, you know how you did here where this used to be your chicken pen? So if you do have that situation, is it best just to put wood chips on top of it
That's what I did.
and then just start planting?
Because look at that soil in there.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's like 1.5 feet deep, black, gorgeous stuff. I mean, you got foundation built. So just put wood chips over to support it.
I just didn't know if it would be bad if you have that to put it over wood chips. If
You want the coarsest stuff on the top.
Okay.
Are you hearing me? Because, just as it breaks down, the finer material feeding the roots is where the life is. So, and so just the most developed stuff should be at root level. And and gravity does everything for you. It's all working down. So it's just start with the rough and the coarse on top, and work yourself way down.
this was amazing. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
But what I want you to get is that the amazing part to me is that we don't get it because it's so obvious. Are
Well,
you
because
following?
it is easy.
It's simple, and it's been done in nature all around us forever. It's not a new thing, and the beauty is it can't fail. It can't fail.
But the key was you asked God.
Yeah, I did.
That's the key. And then you're
It is key.
obedient to listen.
Yeah, it's key, and it was so
So
cool.
that's the key.
You know how God arranged me to go to Him? He gave me no water. I drilled a well at 213 feet at half a gallon a minute, and I can't to grow food for my family. And I says, how do you grow trees without water? He says, come out to the woods, I'll show you. And I tell you, that was the greatest gift I ever got, was that lousy well, because it opened me up to this resource that I never knew I had. He is awesome, and He is unlimited at resource. And He loves to help His kids. He enjoys it. And the word is so plain, you have not because you don't ask. It's our fault.
Yeah.
He's just so there for us. And it's just, I'm so thankful for that lousy well. It was such a gift. You know what's so cool about how God is just so redemptive. He blows my mind. See that awesome well over there? Where He's walking? That well produces 20 gallons a minute of that amazing water. And when God gave that to us, I'm walking off giving Him thanks. You know what He told me? He says, this water was always here for you, but I want you to learn a few things first. Had I given you this up front, you never would have asked. And I was so grateful. You know what's so cool about God? He uses your failures to give you opportunities and platforms to reach the world. Had I had that good well up front, I wouldn't be here today. And I wouldn't. And I've been trying to till, but I couldn't. I'd have given up. Are you hearing me? Because of that lousy well, all of this that's impacting the world is happening. I love Him, how He takes your failures, when you repent, and uses them as foundations to give you life purpose. He is so redemptive. He is so awesome.
I'm following your steps, the steps that you have set up, and it's going good. But the reason I'm here is not because
Bye-bye.
I wanted to, see how you're doing it or anything. I wanted to hear you speak about God and all that. The way you refer to God when you talk to people. That's more inspiring to me than even everything that you're doing,
Thank you.
the way you obeying God, you know, and so that's why I'm here.
I love him. He's good. He is so good. How can you not love him? You know, he's awesome. He's so good. You
Well,
know?
when I first saw the first video, I'm like, okay, there's another fad, you know, another thing that people are coming up with. But then I started listening to you and how you refer to God and speak about God, and I was like, okay, gotta follow up and continue listening. So,
Well, thank you. Yeah. And I just thank you all for coming. Again, you know, to me,
Thank you very much.
you know, see, God's economy is in giving and receiving. And I just feel so blessed for the opportunity to impart and put into you what I've received. Because I really believe that today was a divine appointment. It wasn't a coincidence you were here. And God's going to use this to bless you and others. Because that's just what he's all about. He's good. And so thank you.
Well, we sure wish you God's blessings.
Yes, bless you. God bless you.
Hey, Paul. Okay, question. We live in an apartment. How would you suggest we get started?
So pray.
Okay.
And I had a woman come from the Woodby Island over here who was in an apartment. And so I asked her, do you have any concrete or blacktop you're not using? And she said, yes. I said, so go to Home Depot, buy 2x12s, and make yourself wooden boxes. And come to my place with some bags, and I'll load you up with compost, and put in the concrete. And she did, and she took pictures of the most amazing gardens you ever saw on concrete, in wooden boxes. So containers, you know, you can get, you know, those big wine bottle, you know, wooden wine containers, big plastic, and just, you know, if you put in good soil, wood chips, and just grow stuff in containers. And here's what I'm getting in the spirit. I know this is from God. He says, if you're faithful in little, he'll give you more. So as you start using that space you have in that apartment, whether containers or whatever, God's going to open up to you a community garden someplace, some other place you have more room, because that's what he's up to. That's his character. If you're faithful in little, more follows. So don't despise the days of small beginnings, and just be faithful with the space you have, do the best you can, and watch how God multiplies and gives you more, because that's his nature.
We just came upon a book called The Urban Gardener, where he borrows people's yards and gardens and shares. So if you have any friends,
Right.
You know, again, I would contact churches or find out if there's community gardens. And then the advantage of doing one there, you can teach everybody else.
Right.
I had this couple call me from Kentucky who had never gardened before in their lives, and they got this community garden. They got all covered with wood chips. And using the community garden, there's somebody there who's the authority, who knows what they're doing, and tells everybody how to do it. And so he's just telling people, you can't use wood chips. You got to use this fertilizer from Home Depot. And so they're just ignoring him, and they're just planting. And they're all watching these people's produce really do quite well in the wood chips. And what was the kicker? In Kentucky, they got this frost they'd never had before, and everything in the community garden froze out and died except the kale and the stuff in the wood chips. It was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, and see, and these are the kind of things when you have a demonstration in their face, they can't argue with. It's pretty effective. You know, it works.
So the olive tree, is it what you said it was?
It's autumn olive. It's not. That's just its name.
So how do you root them?
I don't know. Someone gave me that plant, and so I just put it there because they gave it to me.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm going to develop into a nice tree. So I'm not going to have a big mass. And so I'm not sure. But you see all this mullein. You see all that mullein over there. See, all that just happens by seed blowing in. This is mullein. It's an amazing herb. You know, it's just, you know, and see all this, what I'm getting, and see my challenge is abundance. It's trying, you know, I have to be so careful to cut stuff back before it goes to seed because the whole ground is covered. And see, I'm not in a position where I'm trying to make things grow. I'm trying to stop and reduce growth. I mean, I'm diligently laboring at it, you know, which is so God. That's his nature, abundance. He overwhelms you with goodness because that's what he's all about.